Hello there, back again. It's the A&J Podcast with myself, Aaron, and James. And today, hopefully, gyms will be reopening that, or maybe earlier this week from when you're listening to this. It's currently the 31st of March. You might hear my dogs in the background, but hopefully soon we'll have a studio set up and then the dogs will not be a worry. So we're thinking today we have a little chat about how you should approach getting back into the gym, okay, or getting back into fitness. That could be whether you're like just a general member of the public trying to lose some weight, whether you're someone who's trying to gain some muscle. We're here to hopefully drop a few tips you can use on how to get back into training. So, Mr. James H. Fitness, how are you today?
I'm all good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad.
You're good, yeah. So I think obviously, as Aaron said there, the main sort of topic of today, we'll be discussing the best way to approach, I think, training and then also sort of nutrition when gyms do open.
Yeah, 100%.
I think obviously we'll just sort of put out there everyone's goal is different. So for example, I know my goal when gyms reopen will be putting on size, putting on muscle, trying to put on a bit of weight. I'm not sure what your goal necessarily will be.
I mean, for me personally, nowadays I only really train to feel good. So
Right.
I don't put any pressure on eating perfect 100% of the time. I try and eat well 85, 90% of the time just to put that out there, just so no one thinks I eat pure shit and try and get results.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be more on the side of like from a client perspective, from someone that I might be working with,
I think
or
the
like a
best
general
way,
public.
best way to sort of approach it today, I think I'll sort of cover the more, I guess, the bodybuilding side of it, the sort of the weightlifting side of it, and what I feel, I don't want to say as a bodybuilder, but I mean,
as someone who lifts weight,
and as someone who's trying to build muscle, how I'm personally going to be approaching it and what advice I'd give. And I think you're more for the sort of general, the general person of the public, lifting weight, maybe a bit unsure, how to approach their diet, how to approach their training. But we'll cover all of that in more detail. But yeah, how's your day been, mate, today?
Yeah, not too bad.
What have you been up to?
A pretty standard wake up, eat my Weetabix, have my full fat milk as I should, full fat baby. And yeah, just having one of our last 12 sessions, home sessions.
Not long now, yeah, not long now.
12 home sessions left. A bit of back and biceps right before the podcast. So if we get a bit sweaty, it is about 20 odd degrees.
We should also point out, I mean, we have just trained.
Like literally 10 minutes ago, we've had a bit of a food break. Got the protein shakes ready, and now we're here recording.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm just glad that the countdown's coming to the end of spin locks.
I know.
Whoever invented spin locks is a grade A bellend.
I know.
Because
they are fucking
the worst.
horrendous.
Like anyone who has like any sort of home gym setup, any like home dumbbells, they know the little spin locks we're on about. They are the absolute devil.
Yep.
Although the other week we did discover on Amazon you can buy a pack of the actual like gym clips for 1-inch bars.
Yeah.
For I think it was a 10.
I think that's probably one of the best investments.
Honestly, mate, it's got to save us.
Well, I mean, from a sort of timing point of view, the sessions we were doing with the spin locks, we've
we've knocked an hour, like half an hour to an hour.
Honestly, mate, we've probably knocked about a half hour off.
I mean,
each
that
session.
may sound ridiculous, but you got to think every single set you do, if you want to change that weight, you have to unspin.
Especially if you're doing top sets, warm up sets, back off sets.
Exactly. Like on bench press, for example, where you're doing like 6-7 sets, starting with like a 50 kg warm up, going into a 60, building up, and then you're also coming back down that pyramid as like a drop set on the way down. Like you're spending so much time, wasting so much energy. It's not a ridiculous amount of energy, but you're just wasting your brain power, and your overall your training is going to suffer for that. So I can't wait to get back to just set dumbbells. Just there's the 28s or there's the 30s, and
just go.
That's it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Even you don't have to worry about clips falling off mid-set because we've had a few of those where we've almost died.
Yesterday,
yesterday,
we were training
35 kilo on the thing and
training chest, weren't we? Yesterday, and as I'm flat dumbbell bench pressing, I think it's about 35.
Flexing.
I've gone to mate, I was back off set as well, baby. I've gone to push the weight up, and then as I'm at the top, one of the clips has come apart,
just come off,
and I've had all the weight drop on my chest.
I mean, it was worse when we had we were using spin locks the once, and we were squatting probably, not to flex or anything, but about 100 kg at home.
Yeah.
And I've got little dogs, as I mentioned last podcast, but they were running around the side of me, and all of a sudden, one of these clips on the end of the squat bar just slides off, and then I'm there trying to control it, trying to fight it, and it just starts to wean off.
Yeah.
As soon as one side goes, then the other goes, and I'm trying to fight it, get it back up. And
I mean, it's one of those clips that you see on the internet on YouTube that go viral. I mean,
like, I wish I'd have recorded it because it was funny as.
You would have made some money if you had that recorded.
But you've been framed, but it was all like heavy. Like, I know, like 10 kilos is 10 kilos, but a metal 10 kilo is not the same as a plastic 10 kilo.
It's not,
like,
it's not fun, no.
And they're all metal 10 kilo plates, which are, like, imagine you're in the gym, it feels, although it's 10 kilo, because it's metal, it just feels that much heavier.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like a 20 kilo bumper plate. Like,
Well, I mean, when it dropped purely on my chest.
Oh, you feel it, yeah.
It wasn't fun. And then obviously the damage is there as well.
Floor press with the spin locks as well.
One,
and again, that was another one. So yeah, we've had 3 or 4 times where we've almost died to spin locks or to broken clips. So can't wait to get back to those solid weights.
Yeah. So I think I think we'll move on to the sort of main topic of today.
Yeah.
I think if you want to start us off, sort of what would your we'll start off first of all. What are you going to do in terms of what's your personal approach going to be when the gyms are open? Are you going to start off easy and take it easy with nutrition as well? How are you going to approach things?
So, for me personally, I think nothing changes. Obviously, I'll have access to more kit for one. I'll have access to, like, it's going to be easier to do drop sets and things like that. So maybe my training intensity that goes up slightly because I can do more drop sets, supersets. Obviously, there's more equipment in a gym, more barbells, more dumbbells, more whatever. But in terms of like nutrition and just like training in general, the way I train's not going to change. I'm still going to be doing classic bodybuilding, 4 to 6 sets of 8 to 12 reps. I still do like 1 rep maxes on bench press. That's about the only place I train strength. Even after that horrific incline bench video of Larry Wheels, which if you've seen, you'll know what we're on about. It's snapped like a.
Well, it's Ryan, isn't it? Yeah, Ryan.
Just as you can find it on Instagram. You may have seen it. It did go pretty viral, but the dude's incline benching 5 plates, and his pectoral muscle just ripped like a elastic band.
It's honestly not to be over exaggerated. It's one of the worst things I think I may have ever seen.
It's horrible.
It's horrible.
But yeah, I mean, it's a bench press flat bench is the one compound where I go heavy. You could probably hear my dog in the back at the minute. He's whining because we've had to shut him upstairs. Yeah, he wants to get on the podcast. Give him a mic. But yeah, no, nothing's really changed in terms of diet. I just eat chicken and rice. I mean, I've been eating a bit too much cereal lately, and so I'm not. I don't know if I'm looking any more bloated, but I'm feeling slightly more like watery. So I'm probably going to cut that down a little bit. That's not something like a general populace would have to worry about. That's more of me as someone who's very in tune with my body. I can feel like if I eat something wrong, I know it. I can feel it. I've been doing this for 5 years now. In various different like aspects. I've done lots of athletic training for sports. I've done MMA training. Like I've done like the classic sort of bodybuilding. So I know when my body is feeling a bit shafted. But yeah, how about yourself? How are you going to train when we go back? I think you got a coach now, yeah?
Yeah, so I think we mentioned last podcast, I'm sort of planning to compete 2023. And I've thought it is appropriate now to get a coach.
I mean, even coaches need coaches.
Of course, mate. Of course. I mean, most sort of people that I know in terms of
people that want to compete.
People that want to compete in my line of work have coaches. And I'm thinking it's best to start now and start early rather than wait until possibly next year.
If it's not. I mean, you may think a coach when we say coach like a fitness coach, like us, we're personal trainers. That's what we do for a living. Obviously, a lot of people listening will know us through the gym. So obviously we do that for a living, but that doesn't mean we know everything in certain aspects. Like obviously we know enough for what we need to do, like helping people get in shape, lose weight, gain muscle, blah blah blah. But if you want to go like serious bodybuilder mode, or even if we've got the knowledge to maybe cut down, it's nice to have like the affirmation of a coach teaching you.
I think I'll go into sort of my reasons for getting a coach there. I think also it takes a lot of pressure off my back as well. I mean, I've obviously got now a set nutrition plan to follow on a training day, on a rest day, a set of workout routine to follow. So I'm going to be on the push-pull legs rest split, which I have done most of my sort of gym life, I guess. So nothing will change in that aspect. Weekly check-ins as well now, so I'll sort of hold myself accountable for that. And obviously, I mean, I think, well, my coach Luke, I think he's a bit more sort of knowledge in this area than I am, of course. So I just think it's the right decision for me to get a coach.
100%. It's the same as like an Olympic athlete. Obviously, they know how to run, they know how to throw a javelin, whatever. They still have
a coach.
100%. They still want to be better, and you only get better by learning from someone else. So, I mean, that applies to like general populace just trying to lose weight. If you don't understand nutrition, if you don't understand how to train or how you need to train to get to where you want to be, for example, like a lot of my friends who started out quite skinny, say like 130 pounds, 5'8", like the way they eat and the way they train is going to be very different to someone who's 250 pounds trying to lose weight. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just about that knowledge and that accountability and the experience. So there's the door. So yeah, right. Once I'm gonna answer the door and then I'll pause it.
Yeah, so.
Sorry about that. The door went, so obviously I have to go and answer that as the adult of the house. But yeah, back to what we were talking about. I think if you lack that understanding, that knowledge of how you need to do something, the best way you're going to learn is through, and obviously this might sound biased because we are coaches, but the best way to learn is through someone with more experience. Unless you want to spend, someone who can simplify it for you. You don't need everything to be fed to you in massive chunks. You want your coach to break it down into bite-sized pieces you can understand, you can learn, so that, a good coach in my eyes doesn't just get you on track and get you to lose weight or get you to your goal. They help you understand the why and what you're doing.
Of course.
So a big part of my coaching, personally, is I try to make sure every single one of my clients understands why I'm asking them to track macros, why I'm asking them to eat certain things, train a certain way. And, that's a big part of my philosophy as a trainer. And if you're trying to learn all of that in your own time, on your own space, you're going to be reading hours and hours of forums. You've got to think we're all qualified. We've all spent months, years, however long studying and learning because we love what we do. So, we're not expecting old Gary from down the pub who wants to lose a bit of weight to do all that research himself,
Yeah.
Which I think it's,
Yeah. I think my advice definitely to sort of anyone wants to start the gym, or I guess even after having 4 months off, it does sound biased, but do get a coach. Just simple as that.
If you don't get a coach, if you're confident in your abilities or if you know what you're doing, get a coach if but then again, if you've got a goal,
depending on your goals.
Yeah, depending on your goals. I wouldn't say you need a coach if you're comfortable, if you're happy. But if you're not happy and you want to go further and you want to do better, or you really want to lose that extra weight, 4 months out is massive. You might be struggling for motivation. Even if you need that push, you need motivation, I would say get a coach.
Yeah.
But if you're someone who's totally self-driven, very knowledgeable, comfortable like me, I know I am a coach, but I've been doing it for a long time. I know what I'm doing. I'm comfortable with what I do. I don't have any particular goal other than I want to stay looking relatively good, healthy, and I want to, get a little bit stronger, whatever, things that I've been doing for years. So I wouldn't need a coach, but if I wanted to go, I'm going to consider competing now, or I'm going to consider taking that next step, then of course I'm going to need someone to help me along that path.
Yeah. I'll go back to that question again then. So what would your advice be for someone that's had 4 months off, going back to gyms? How would you approach training?
I mean, it's a tough one. If I was going at it without a coach, 100% depending on what I've done at home. So I was saying earlier, we've got a home gym, so maybe for me, the training intensity changes, the weights change, but the overall way I train isn't going to change. I'm not going to be doing anything majorly different. I might have access to more weights, more dumbbells, the ability to do supersets because I have more equipment, and obviously machines for those accessory movements. But if I'm your average Steve who weighs, say, 250 pounds, wants to lose weight, I'm coming into that gym and I'm thinking, I don't want a trainer. I just want to do it on my own.
Yeah, what would you advise?
My biggest advice, before you even worry about stepping in that gym and training, is get your nutrition sorted.
Yeah.
If you are someone trying to lose weight, gain muscle, whatever, you can train as hard as you want, but if your nutrition is not on point, you will not get the same results.
100%.
So the two biggest factors: motivation. You're not going to make changes if you're not motivated to do so.
Mm-hmm.
As human beings, we are very stuck in our ways. We hate change. It's something we really struggle with as creatures. That's why you have to work on forming things into a habit where you do it at the same time. My biggest advice in a sense would be get yourself in a habit. So yeah, you need your diet correct, but you need to be in that routine. Eat at the same time every day. If you need to, it's a bit boring, but eat the same foods every day. If you're really driven to a goal, you will. I eat chicken, rice, and veg every day. I'm not saying I'm Superman or anything. It's not that hard. You get used to it. But I eat at the same time every day. I train at the same time every day. I go to sleep at the same time every day. I get myself in a set routine that really helps me succeed, if that makes sense. You need that routine, especially as someone who's not been in the gym in 4 months, who's maybe not really ever been too comfortable training on their own, or even join classes. Go to gym classes and socialize, meet people, have fun with it. Don't make going to the gym a chore. Is my personal look at it from a sort of trainer's perspective, looking at the client or the general gym member. How about yourself? What would your number one key be to success in the gym? Obviously, you're coming at it from a slightly different perspective.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'll go sort of approach for when gyms open from more of a bodybuilding aspect of it. I think, as you said, number one, make sure your sort of nutrition and diet is on point. Yeah. I'm going to be going into a gaining phase when gyms are open. So, for example, I've got a set, as you were saying, I've got a set meal plan. Yeah. The set training day meal plan of 5 meals, and then a set non-training day meal plan of 5 meals. And then obviously with training, I think definitely ease yourself back into it. I mean, can you imagine going back in first day and getting fucking injured or something? Jesus, imagine that.
The biggest thing is you don't want to get injured.
Jesus, imagine that.
And set yourself back another 4 months.
So I mean, you have to think your body's had 4 months off from. I know obviously we've been training, but we still haven't had access to machine weights, movements, different movements we've been doing.
And even the barbells we have, we can't load up at some.
They're not the 20 kg typical barbell.
Not 20. They're one of our bars is 8 kilo, the other's probably 2.5. It weighs nothing.
Doesn't weigh a lot.
You can get about 120 kilo weight on there, but it's all in 10s, 5s, 2.5s.
Exactly,
it's not the same as having an Olympic bar. It's an Olympic bar is obviously thicker in your hands as well, so the way you grip it is different.
Yeah, and then also I think the plates as well. I mean, our 10 kg plates, they're metal, but they're only about. I mean, they're barely off the ground, aren't they?
Yeah.
So when we're deadlifting, for example, obviously it's a lot on the lower back.
You've got an extra foot to go down to the floor.
Exactly.
The diameter of our 10 kilo weights is probably half of a 20 kilo gym or a 10 kilo plate in a gym, because basically it's bigger than the little metal ring in the middle of a bumper plate, but it's barely bigger than that, I would say. They're not. And they're thin. They're really thin. They maybe an inch thin by
I just think for me
6 to 8 inches along.
For me, going back to that is just take it easy. I mean, obviously, I'm sure I'm itching to get back into the gym. I'm itching to push some big weights. Get some numbers on the board. But for example, little things like doing 1 top set instead of 2 top sets, things like that, and sort of you have to accept you won't be as strong as it were when gyms close.
And you there's going to be some give and take. You're going to be back in the gym, but you're going to have to take it easy to not risk injury. Yeah. If you don't want to take it easy, you can just go balls to the walls and start trying to lift the same weights. But if you get injured, then you've just set yourself back even further. Yeah. I think another massive part of getting back into the gym is training intensity. Yeah. If you're using lighter weights because you don't want to risk, because you can't lift the same, say you're a little bit weaker, you've not lifted 100 kg on the bench for a long time, up your training intensity.
I think training intensity is massive. I think a lot of people
you see so many people in the gym on their phone between sets for scrolling through Instagram for ages. I'm guilty of it. I've done it in the past.
Intensity's huge.
I got to the point where I started setting a timer between sets. So I'll go on my phone. Everyone carries their phone in the gym because they've got headphones. And I'll set a timer for 45 seconds to a minute, depending on the set. And if I'm doing a bit more of an accessory exercise, that timer will be set to 30 seconds. And you'd be amazed how quickly time passes.
Goes,
You're scrolling on Instagram and you're going through like a song or two in your head and you're like, oh, that's been a minute.
Yeah.
Like that song realistically could be like 4 minutes long. And you just like complete, and you're also wasting time in your day. If you want to get in a habit and remain productive and remain in the gym, you can't be wasting an extra hour because you're spending 2 minutes scrolling between Instagram on every set. Say you're training 2 muscles, you're doing 8 exercises or 4 exercises per muscle, 4 sets.
Yeah.
So 16 sets there, and you're wasting 2 minutes between each set. That's 32 minutes of wasted time per muscle you train.
Yeah.
So that's an hour and 4 minutes.
I definitely think a little tip.
My maths is correct. I'm not a mathematician.
I definitely think for people getting back into the gym, a little tip would be timing in between sets, and just even if you're not, a massive sort of gym goer as such.
And if you're not going to time in between sets, be prepared to suffer the consequences of less gains, less results. Same as if you're going to skimp out on eating correctly, you're going to see less results. Maybe if you're lacking the motivation to keep yourself intense and keep yourself on that path, on that track, again, get yourself a trainer.
Yeah.
You're like, realistically, if I'm speaking, or me and James are speaking here, and it's kind of resonating with you, like, maybe I don't do that, maybe I should do that, or what do you mean, or whatever, then get yourself a trainer and sort it out. Like, they should sort that out for you and help push you to a next level or push you along your goals. And again, they're there to teach you. They're not there, like, I'd rather someone make less, like, say, physical gains along the way. So say someone loses 5 pounds instead of 10, but they learn how to lose weight. Granted, it's a science. So if you're trying to lose weight and you're eating how you should, you're training how you should, you're tracking calories properly, it's a science. You will lose weight. It's based on numbers. If your numbers are correct, there's only one thing happening. So if I'm working with a client and maybe they're not seeing the weight loss that they should be, like I'd aim for about 2 pounds a week, then we're going to have to look at calories. We're going to have to look at, are they tracking everything properly? It could be that they're drinking their calories, not tracking sort of sauces and things like that they put on their meal. Maybe they're guessing their weights instead of actually weighing it. Like, all these little things add up into one big mistake. Now, I would rather go along that path and someone lose 5 pounds instead of 10, maybe because they've been a bit laxical on their tracking. They track some meals and not others, so it's cost them a few pounds. But they've learned a lot on the way. They've learned why they're tracking calories. They've learned roughly how many calories are in food, because there's so many stigmas about what is healthy and what is unhealthy. But at the end of the day, like, as long as your calories are there, they're there. Like, 1,000 calories of cake isn't very good for you, for the record. I wouldn't recommend it. It's the same as 1,000 calories of carrots, except you can eat many more carrots than you can slices of cake for 1,000 calories.
I'll ask you a question then on that sort of topic.
Recommend that now.
In your opinion,
the whole if it fits your macros versus meal plans, that's a sort of big debate, I guess, in the whole industry. If it fits your
macros to an extent.
Expand.
Because if I'm doing meal plans for a general populace client, they're not going to stick to it.
No.
Because you're going to struggle to feed someone something. If I'm writing you a meal plan, I could, but I'm going to struggle to find food you're willing to eat every single day that aren't repetitive and boring.
Yeah.
Whereas if I say, all right, here's your calories, I want you to eat this much protein, this much fat, this many carbs, track it. You can eat whatever. You can eat whatever you want.
Yeah.
I don't care, as long as you do not go over that number, and if you hit these numbers, I do not care what you eat.
Yeah.
Because then it gives them some freedom. And they go, oh, really? It's that easy? It's that easy?
Yeah.
The first day, they'll go, oh, well, I'm going to have a cereal bar.
Yeah.
And they'll waste 250 calories on a Snickers or a cereal bar or something. And then they'll go, hold on a second, that's 250 calories of my 2,000 calories of the day gone because I wanted a Snickers. maybe I should tone it down a little bit, and it gets them. Like the first week or two of tracking, everyone's useless because no one knows what's in the food they're eating, which is massive. But as time goes on, you get more effective at it, and you start to go, hold on a second, if I eat a Snickers now, I'm not going to be able to eat my full dinner later. I'm going to have to do a smaller portion. Then I'm going to go to bed hungry, wake up hungry, and it's going to set me back.
Yeah.
Now, you will find a path that works for you on the dieting scale. Like me personally, I only eat chicken, rice and veg.
You're sort of more if it fits your macros in a way, aren't you, I guess?
Yeah, I've always been if it fits your macros because...
Well, I'm more meal plans and sort of set meal plans.
I eat the same thing every day anyway. I'm a creature of habit, but I do not care for someone... I could... realistically, if I was that driven, I could. But I'm not going to enjoy it as much as me just being given numbers and told, eat what you want.
And again, I think that brings us on to another topic, which is sort of finding the correct balance between your life, your personal life, and bodybuilding or gym, I guess.
Well, it never affects my life because I'm sensible. Like realistically, if you're in the gym for more than an hour and a half, 2 hours a day, you're spending too long on your phone, in my opinion. Unless you're doing like some mad fuck off session. If you're
like legs or something.
Yeah, unless you're doing legs or something where you're training, or maybe if you're doing back and biceps, but you're doing 8 exercises per, you're probably overtraining at that point, in my opinion. But if you're spending 2 hours in there and you're not being intense, if you've spent 2 hours in the gym and you leave and you're barely sweating a drop, then your intensity wasn't right. And you've just wasted at least half an hour of your day, in my opinion. When I train, it'll take me an hour to an hour and a half to train, like push or pull. It would take me an hour and a half to 2 hours to train legs because there's more muscles in your legs. And also, I only train legs once a week. Spoiler alert, I train everything else twice. So I like to add a little bit more in there just to make sure I'm effectively training them. But yeah, I think it all comes down to the intensity that you train with and your diet, like at the end of the day. I think I can waffle for hours about this because I have so many like little pet peeves that I see people do and things like that, and I am by no means perfect. I'm not the next coming of Ronnie Coleman or Arnold Schwarzenegger or any of these great bodybuilders by any like stretch of the imagination, but I am happy with how I train.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. I eat basically whatever I want, but I make sure I eat right 90% of the time. I know what to eat to be healthy. And so that if I'm eating right 90% of the time, that doesn't stop me from going to Nando's with my friends or doing whatever.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So I think that's where you find that balance, I guess, between enjoying your life and being able to train. And eat,
like I said, the gym should only take you maximum 2 hours a day.
Yeah.
There's 24 hours in a day. Just sleep for 7 hours instead of 8. You know, everyone has a spare hour where they're just like completely useless. Do you know what I mean? Like everyone wakes up in the morning and spends half an hour on it, or not everyone, but a lot of people, including myself, wake up in the morning and spend half hour on your phone, or you go to do the washing up and instead you spend 10 minutes stood there on your phone, or you know, everyone wastes 10 minutes to half an hour here, even up to an hour watching the Good Morning Show or watching TV or Netflix or whatever. Instead of spending all that time watching Netflix, go spend an hour in the gym. Do something that's going to benefit your health, benefit your lifestyle, and you'll see results. You're also living less sedentary. Well, not only would you're increasing your overall health, but you're also, in theory, going to live longer if you get healthy and you train. Yeah. Compared to if you sit there watching Netflix every night for 2 hours.
But I think there is another argument, sort of how healthy actually is bodybuilding in a way, and how
depends how far you take it.
Exactly.
I mean, we spoke yesterday on steroids. They're not very healthy if you're going overboard.
Exactly. And also from a sort of mental point of view, because we're not just talking about physical health. Obviously, we're on about mental health as well. I mean, how mentally healthy is bodybuilding for you?
For me, I love it. I absolutely love getting a pump. That's kind of how I train. I pump chase. I just get in there, do a load of sets, pause reps, negatives, like everything, trying to get that pump. because there's no better feeling than when you get a pump and then you leave the gym and you feel like hot shit. You feel like you feel on top of the world. You feel, I'm gonna sound very arrogant to say this, but you feel better than a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like you walk out of that gym and you're there like, oh yeah, no, everyone does it. I think to an extent. It doesn't mean you're an asshole. It doesn't make you like anything special. It's just natural. That's your endorphins being released from training. So I think it's massive for mental health. If you're someone, although it will stress people, like the gym is a stressful environment for a lot of people until you get used to it, and then you kind of realize that, oh wait, these people don't care about me. They're just there for them. Like that, or like I said earlier, go to classes, socialize, meet people, and then the gym becomes way less scary. Get a trainer.
Yeah.
I was saying yesterday, if you've got a trainer who doesn't make you feel comfortable, probably not the best trainer for you.
Get another trainer.
Yeah, probably not the best trainer for you. Like you should be able to have, although the session isn't about talking, you should be able to hold a conversation with your trainer.
Well, you want to be able to get along with your
exactly. You should get along with him. You should hold a conversation, almost like a friend who's helping you lose weight, like the best kind of friend. Like realistically, it's a slightly different topic here, but you want your friends to be people that help push you along in life. You don't want any like yes men who sit there and just kind of don't do anything with their life, or sit there drinking or smoking weed or anything like that. They're not gonna help you progress forwards. They're not gonna get you healthy. They're not gonna do anything. Like there's always this classic, I can't afford a trainer argument, but I go to the pub every week. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like,
well, it's priorities, isn't it? I mean,
massively.
John's priority might be going to the pub and having 5 pints a week.
Yeah, exactly.
Rather than going into the gym and spending £30 an hour on a trainer.
Yeah, £30 if that, depending on the trainer. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And which one's going to be better for you? I think short-term vision, you're going to think you get more enjoyment out of the pub, but then you've got to deal with hangovers. You've got to deal with like everything that comes with drinking alcohol. I might be slightly biased as someone who's been sober for a year and a half now, so I can't really talk on the effects of alcohol because I've never had a hangover even when I did drink. I've not drunk, smoked weed or anything in a year, but I can tell you in that year and a half I feel so much better, so much more productive, so much more awake. My training's better, my body's better, my physique is better, my overall mood is better. Like you don't realise until you stop doing it. You never realise until you get out of a bad situation how bad it is for you. I know that seems a bit extreme talking about alcohol, but it goes with most things in life.
Yeah.
I think, how would you get someone, like what would your advice be then to someone who's new to the gym entirely? Someone who's never stepped foot in a gym before but wants to lose a bit of weight, or maybe, I mean, you started off as someone wanting to gain muscle. I started off as someone wanting to lose weight. So how would you address someone like yourself, starting off trying to gain a bit of muscle, like skinny as anything, struggling with their body image, wanting to look a little less like...
Again, it just literally does come back to the point of just trying to get a coach or getting a trainer, someone there for you, that you can learn off.
Did you have a trainer when you first started?
I didn't. No.
I just thought I'd throw that out there.
Yeah,
Not everyone has a trainer when they start. I mean, a lot of young people can't afford one.
Exactly. I think a lot of it is sort of money, but then if you can't afford one,
nothing's stopping you learning.
Nothing's stopping you learning. That's, you got internet. I think we're very lucky in the fact of we've got so much at our disposal now. I mean, if we want to sort of...
Oh, yeah, massively.
If we want to, go and look at a back and bicep workout, we can just go on the internet and it's
there. You can find free workouts all over the place. People post them on Instagram.
That never used to be a thing.
Yeah, I mean... You can learn anything on the internet these days. Do you know what I mean? Like it's a massive tool. I personally started out learning from YouTubers such as like Christian Guzman, Brandon Harding, who we spoke about yesterday. I can't really think of many off the top of my head, but like all these things, and then I was watching, say like Pumping Iron, and all these bodybuilding films.
Yeah, classics. Yeah,
classics, and that's what got me sort of to the point where I could actually make some progress and not take it seriously, but get somewhere with it.
Yeah.
I think if you were speaking on someone, say 16, 17, just old enough to get in a gym, say they don't have access to a trainer, what else would you say outside of YouTube?
I think as well, another massive aspect is enjoyment.
Yeah.
I think for me, if you
You have to enjoy.
Enjoy going to the gym and actually training, because if it becomes a chore, I know for a lot of people, in a way, they sort of, like they don't really get along with the gym, or they see it as a chore, or like having to go to the gym.
They put a lot of pressure.
On going to the gym and
like,
body image.
If you say just the name the gym, to a lot of people, they'll have some kind of like fear response.
Yeah.
Like, oh, the gym, like, oh, don't want to go there.
I think so massively enjoy the gym, and then also
how would you suggest someone gets around that feeling, gets around that fear of the gym, gets around?
I'd say go with your mate, or go with your friends, for example. If your friends are going, you don't want it to become a social, but it definitely helps out if you're going with someone.
I think there's a social aspect to it. Like,
there
speak to
is,
whoever you want. Like, say hello to people during your session, but before and after a session, like in the changing rooms, or in the entrance,
they just help you feel a bit more comfortable.
Where we work, there's like a little like cafe area. Like, if you want to speak to people around there, then by all means speak to them before or after a session. But don't waste your whole session socialising.
No.
I was massively guilty of that when I was 18. Is I met a load of people at the gym, and on a Saturday we'd all deadlift together, but we'd spend 4 hours deadlifting.
And then
and we'd do like 10 sets, which is ridiculous, by the way. We completely went overboard. Yeah. We completely ruined ourselves deadlifting. But we'd spend like 4 hours between deadlifting and training back on a Saturday, because we just spent ages talking. And again, there was no intensity.
No. So I mean, in terms of beginners, definitely, if you've got the funds and if you want to take it really seriously, definitely get a trainer and someone to help you. And then also build up your knowledge, enjoy it.
It's a massive thing about life in general. Learn everything you can as a young.
Every day is an opportunity to learn, isn't it?
When you're young, learn everything you can. You'll be learning every day for your whole life, and if you're not, then you're probably not in the best environment.
No.
Like, I'm going to sound like a massive nerd saying this, and I was a nerd at school, but as someone who, like, every day I aspire to do or learn something new, if you approach something with fear, I learned this the other day, I can't remember where from, but I read it somewhere. If you approach something with fear and you don't do it, the second time you're going to do it, you're going to be twice as fearful as the first time. So that could go for entering the gym, it could go for, like, even, like, skydiving. If you if you get in that plane, you get up in the sky, and then you go, oh, I've shit the bed, I don't want to do it anymore. The next time someone says, oh, do you want to go skydiving, you're going to have a way worse response, because you've had a bad experience. If you force yourself out of that plane, or you force yourself into that gym, and you just go and do something, then your fear response will slowly disappear until nothing. Like, when I first started in the gym I first went to, there was like a raised platform bit into the weights area where all like these big bodybuilders were training. Big bodybuilders, they seemed it at the time. Turns out they're just general public, like normal people who looked bigger than me, because I was a little pubic.
Spent an hour doing bicep curls.
Do you know what I mean? Like, and I would not step foot up onto that platform, because I was absolutely terrified.
The gym at
the Keys, yeah. I was absolutely terrified of going up those stairs when I was like 17, 18, first starting out. And obviously that's now changed, and now I'm probably one of the people that, I'm not massive by any means, but I think if you look up there and you see people who look like they know what they're doing, like, I know a lot of like clients I speak to are scared of the weights area, even at the gym now, because they look over there and they see big people who look like they know what they're doing, and they go, well, I don't want to look like an idiot. Well, you won't, because someone will help you, or like if they don't help you, they're probably just an arsehole. But
there are also quite a few of those.
There are a lot of those who will just sit and laugh at you for doing something incorrect. But yeah, I think there's this fear response that if you just do it the first time you say, the first day you go, I'm going to start going to the gym on Monday the 12th of April when they reopen, hopefully, fingers crossed. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to go to the gym that day. If you end up skipping that gym session, you will not go back to the gym, because you'll just give up.
And then also that, as you pointed out earlier, it's about forming habits and about getting into a routine.
Well, this is another topic, to be fair. How about if you work, I don't know, like a 9-to-5 job, or if you're at school or university, how would you sort of approach that?
Straight after work, keep it in that same time of day.
Would you go...
The minute you go home after work, you are 10 times less likely to go to that gym, because you're already at home.
I was about to say, don't... If you got time, bring your clothes with you
to work, for example. Once you finish work, just head to that gym straight away.
do not
just make it a routine.
The more if you go home, you are so much less likely to go to the gym
you
if you're not in the habit.
Watch TV for 5 minutes.
You'll get home and you'll start getting questioned by people. Someone will ask you to do something and you won't go to the gym, which is not what you want.
No.
I think again, another way of forming that habit is, and I kind of touched on it with the fear response thing, but just turn up at the gym. If you turn up at the gym, you're not just going to sit there and do nothing.
That's the hardest job done in a way, isn't it?
Yeah,
well, once you're there,
I know it's like a bit of a cliche. Yeah, a bit of a cliche, but the hardest part is getting there for the first timer.
It is. Honestly, it is.
If you get to the gym, you are not just going to sit there in the cafe area and do nothing. You're going to go and get on a treadmill. You're going to start walking or, and eventually that walk, next time you go, that walk might turn into a jog. Then you might go, oh, kettlebells, I'm going to try those. Or, oh, dumbbell, progress. It's like a snowball. Just go to the gym, get on that treadmill, get it moving, get the ball rolling, and then you'll be Arnold Schwarzenegger in no time. Like you'll be on the Olympia stage. I think definitely you have to try and avoid skimping out on going to that first session. You have to avoid the minute you start ducking going to the gym. You've already set yourself back because you're not going to want to go.
Yeah, I think we'll go on to another topic as well. I mean, sort of latching onto that, how important is routine, and how important is sort of having a routine, having a set day by day plan. I mean, for me, routine is just so big. Routine's major. I know going back to when gyms were open, my life was sort of, it would just be set on routine per day. I'd book in my clients.
Booking my clients.
What time I'm going to train.
Slot every week.
My meals.
Although it sounds like it might be coming from like a bit of a selfish place, I always recommend to my clients to book the same slot every week where they can.
Makes it so much easier, doesn't it?
Because it helps them setting a routine.
Yeah.
I also encourage them to set a day they're going to the gym when I'm there. So, shout out man like Charlie Foster. But Charlie started off with me quite overweight, I would say. I don't think that's harsh to say. He's lost a lot of weight since then. But he started off doing 3 sessions a week with myself and lost loads of weight. And then I was like, all right, drop down to 2 sessions. But I want to start getting you into the gym on your own time so you get more comfortable with coming.
Yeah.
So then when I'm speaking to Charlie, I'm like, right, let's do 6 a.m. on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Monday, Thursday, Friday, whatever. 6 a.m. because he always trained in the morning anyway.
Yeah.
Before work. Because if you come in on those days, I will be here. I'm in that gym at 6 a.m. every day. So I will see you here. And if you don't show up, I will know that you haven't shown up and I'll hold you accountable for that. And I will message you and say, oh, where were you this morning? Are you going to make that session up tomorrow morning? That kind of thing. Set your days up. Set your times up. Whether you've got a trainer or not, say, right, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 7 p.m., straight after I finish work, I'm going to the gym, or 6 p.m. or whatever it is. Same time, same days, every week, and then increase it. Work from there.
Yeah, I mean, routine's just such a big part of everyone's life that, I mean, especially during lockdown, I think people have sort of found it out in a way. I mean, I've sort of lost routine in a way. I think we have got better for it. I think we've sort of started, what time we're going to train each day. So we're training at the moment around about 10:30, 11 in the morning.
Every day, yeah.
Just so, it sort of gets us up. We have breakfast.
Like, realistically, for me personally, I'm not a morning. I will start work at 6 a.m. when gym's open. I love working early and then finishing at 12 till 2 p.m. kind of thing. I love starting early, finishing early in a way, but I hate waking up. So if I've got nothing to wake up for, I will not get out of bed until 10, 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
I'll wake up at 10. I won't get out of bed.
Just lie there
or I'll sit there playing Xbox, or I'll just be completely unproductive. And it's fine to not be productive sometimes, but if you're doing that every day of the week, all the time, especially in lockdown, you're just fucking yourself over a little bit,
Yeah.
Which is why we decided on 10, 11, because it gives us a chance to wake up, not extremely early, or wake up at 8:30, 9, get breakfast in, shower, ready, meet, train, when you're still full on energy as well. You've just woken up, not just you've been awake for 2 or 3 hours, so you're almost at the peak of your energy for the day.
Yeah, I think that's it. I mean, my sort of preferred time to train is around about, I think, in the bracket of between 11 and 1. I think that's my sort of favourite time to train.
Yeah, I mean, for me it changes with how I'm approaching the day. Like when gym's open, like I said, I'll start at 6 a.m. and I try and finish at 12 or 2. And on certain days, I'll do evenings just because obviously I've got certain clients that train after work.
Yeah.
So at that point in time, I'll do like a 6 till 10 a.m., 6 a.m. till 10 a.m. and I'll come back at like 4 p.m. and do 4 till 7 p.m.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. I always train whenever I've got a break in between my morning clients. So it could be I've got clients 6 till 8 a.m. and then I'll train at 8 a.m. till like 9:30 and but I always leave space and I always book that space out for myself to train. Like if I start to notice like, oh, Charlie's booked in at 6 or Amanda's in at 7 and then I've got nothing at 8 but someone wants the 10 o'clock slot, oh, there you go, 2 hours, I can train, I can eat breakfast.
Yeah.
Like, and that's how I work it when gyms are open. But at the minute, with nothing else to do in the day, it breaks up the day nicely as well. You're not
definitely
left with like 9 hours. Like imagine if we were training at 8 a.m, we'd have nothing to do between 9:30, 10 o'clock and the rest of the day.
Well, or likewise 8 p.m. or 9 p.m.
Yeah, 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. We'd have to sit there all day doing nothing.
Exactly.
Ready to go and train, you know. So I think set your times up, set your days up, turn up, get on that treadmill, start walking, or ask someone what to do, or Google it, or get on YouTube. Or there is really no excuse to not. If you're that motivated to lose weight, or that motivated to gain muscle, or that motivated to get in the gym, there is no excuse because nothing is stopping you except for you.
Yeah.
And if you're going to be someone that goes, oh, well, I work a 9 till 5, yeah, fair enough. But how many hours are in a day?
24 hours in a day, baby.
There you go. And 9 till 5 is what, 9 hours?
Exactly.
So
if you want to make it work, you'll make it work.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, 24 hours in a day. Say you're spending 8 hours asleep, which most people aren't. You're spending 8 hours asleep. You're working 8 hours a day. You've still got 8 hours left in your day. Look at yourself in the mirror or look at your calendar and say, what am I doing with those 8 hours? As human beings as well, we have this weird psychological thing where if we give ourselves a schedule for the day, we will make sure everything. Oh, there's my dog. There you go. He loves this chat. If you have a schedule for the day and you say I'm going to spend an hour doing this, an hour doing that, you will spend that whole hour doing it, even if it's a 10-minute task. If you say, oh, I'm going to wash the dishes and I'm going to give myself half an hour to wash the dishes and whatever, then you will spend half an hour doing it, instead of if you say, oh, I'm going to do 10 minutes to wash the dishes, you will spend 10 minutes doing it. If you allocate yourself a set amount of time, you will fill that time. So if you say, oh, I'm going to go to the gym for 3 hours today, you will spend 3 hours in the gym, but you will have wasted at least an hour of your day. Do you know what I mean? Like, set yourself a schedule, set yourself times to do things, and keep it simple. Keep it easy. It doesn't have to be overcomplicated.
I think that resolves into life as well. Just life's meant to be simple and easy, nice and chilled.
I mean, it's definitely far from simple or easy.
Well, you have to try and make it as best as you can.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to touch on?
Well, I think we've sort of gone about the main topic of today, which was sort of approaching the gym.
I mean, is there anything we didn't really touch on? Obviously, we've been asking for questions from anyone who knows us or is watching or anything like that. So if you do have any questions, follow our Instagram or send us a DM on our private accounts. So the Instagram is just the A&J Podcast, as it is in the name. And then our personal Instagrams are also in the bio to that account, but mine is AW_personal_training.
That's a mouthful, isn't it?
I almost forgot it then. And then J is what? JH_fitness19.
I think it's literally just JH Fitness. I don't even know. JH Fitness 19.
So it's something like that.
Like that.
Just search JH Fitness, baby.
Yeah, it will come up.
JH Fitness, baby. And then drop us any questions you want to know the answer to. I mean, the podcast is a great platform for us to go into detail about these things. Yeah. So we've just spent about 50 minutes talking about getting yourself into the gym and getting yourself in that routine. There's probably something we've missed that someone wanted to know about, but we're new to this. You know, we're still getting used to it ourselves, getting the practice in. As you may have noticed, we're trying out new camera angles. We're setting up a studio, hopefully, in us, well, in my spare bedroom. Great use for a spare bedroom. We're working. Basically, we really want to bring the quality down the line. At the minute, we're just sort of in the dining room area of my house, like blagging it for now, I guess. But I think it's working out. But yeah, if you've got any questions, if you've got anything you want to know, gym related, fitness related, personal life, anything at all, then do just drop it in there, and then hopefully we'll do I reckon we do like a whole episode, or try and get enough content to do a whole episode or something, or
just a Q&A sort of
video.
video.
Like a Q&A episode, or we do like a dedicated we're going to spend the first 10 minutes of the podcast answering your questions, or we're going to spend
100%.
Anyway, just let us know how you want to see it structured. Any questions, work, life, business, investing. We love a bit of investing. Animals, I've got plenty of those to talk about.
Anything.
I mean, I'm trying to think, is there anything that we have not touched on with getting back into the gym? I think
do a little summary if you want.
Maybe about how, I think one of the things we haven't touched on is how to train. We didn't speak about how would you recommend someone trying to lose weight trains compared to someone trying to build muscle.
Again, it's a very broad question. I mean,
so say
I think in terms of someone trying to lose weight, the sort of common perception is cardio, and if I weight train, I'm going to put on muscle.
Yeah.
Weight resistance training for me
is more important than cardio training
massively
if you're trying to lose weight.
I think there's a balance.
There is a balance, but I think sometimes it can be very underlooked.
And again, it depends on your overall goal. Do you want to get fitter to run a marathon or run a 5K, or do you want to get fitter in general and look better?
Yeah, and then obviously at the other end of the scale, you got if you're
trying to add weight and put on weight, obviously you lift weight, but a lot of people don't move, or they don't do any form of cardio whatsoever, which I believe shouldn't be the case. I believe if you're trying to put on weight and you're trying to bulk up, you need to do at least 5,000 steps a day minimum, just for some health benefits and some active form of cardio, just so you've got something to run on.
I think you could generally hit 5,000 steps without trying. I think most people work
Possibly.
Other than if you work in an office or walking around the gym, walking around your house, you're passively going to reach.
I think with us
even if
having
you
an
spend,
active job, but if you just sit at a
even
desk
if
all
you
day,
spend 5 minutes warming up, on a rower,
at a desk all day, you're not doing anything.
But you're going to help your mobility because you're going to strengthen your joints doing cardio, believe it or not. So even 5 minutes on the rower, or 5 minutes walking, a 5-minute jog before you start your weight session, is going to massively benefit your joints, your tendons, and also your ability to hold more weight, believe it or not.
Also, I do it as well. I mean, whenever I'm in the gym, I always sort of do a 5-minute warm up on the treadmill just to get my mindset in the game.
Yeah, and, to get in that zone.
Just to get in that zone.
But, I wouldn't skip out on functional training. As in, if you're trying to lose weight and you're maybe between the demographic of getting up there in age, I say getting up there in age, that's a bit rude, but say if you're between the age of 28 and 48 or something, or 28 and 50 or somewhere around there, where you've gone past the point of caring about being massive. You don't care. If you wanted to be a bodybuilder, you'd have been in the gym by now. If you're 28 to 48 and you're starting in the gym or getting into the gym, realistically you don't want to be competing at the Olympia unless there's a very rare case. At that point in time, you just want your body to be the most able to do what you want it to do. And I think the best way to do that is to train functionally. We're talking circuit training, kettlebell training, different weight movements, isometric work, balance work, that kind of thing, and just core stability overall, because that's going to make you more functional, hence the name, in everyday life. You're going to be able to lift up things in your kitchen better. You're going to be able to move around the house more efficiently, weirdly enough. You're going to be healthier. Your cardiovascular ability is going to be there. Your heart's going to be healthier. Your lungs are going to be able to fill to a bigger capacity, and you're going to stay healthy and look you're going to look fine. You're not going to look like a bodybuilder. You're not going to have these massively defined muscles. You're not going to be perfectly symmetric, but you are going to look healthy, and you are going to be able to do stuff, which a lot of bodybuilders, for example, can't. They're stiff stiff as anything. A lot of them can't scratch the middle of their back or anything, you know.
Well, they walk up the stairs and they're fucked, out of breath.
Yeah, you know, a lot of bodybuilders aren't functional for life. They're just bodybuilders.
Yeah.
So don't try to be a bodybuilder if you don't care about bodybuilding. Just focus on your overall health and the benefits. At which point in time I say functional training is number one for that. Just to boost joint strength, joint mobility, stretch, definitely stretch. As someone who doesn't stretch outside of MMA training, my body is absolutely shafted at the minute. I just, not to flex on anyone, but I used to be able to kick people in the head relatively easily, and now I don't think I could get my hips, like my leg above my hip. Like if you skip out on 1 or 2 stretching sessions a week, or if you don't stretch at all, you will get stiff. Unless you're a child, because children aren't as, you know, once you hit about 18 to 20, you stop being so like malleable. Your body can't do the weird things it used to do. Like most 15-year-olds can kick their foot above their head without ever thinking about it because their body is still developing. They've not stiffened up yet. Whereas once you get to like 18 to 20, start lifting weights, whatever, you get stiff. So definitely stretch, and I'm not an expert in stretching. I do the same stretches all the time, but it's effective. Google it. Go on YouTube. Same as for anything. You can learn on there. It's not just for people watching weird videos. You can definitely learn a lot from YouTube forums, just overall the internet.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add to that?
No, mate, not for today. I think we've pretty much.
I mean, we're at 56 minutes and 30 seconds, so
yeah, pretty much done for today.
Let's do a quick summary then.
So I think in terms of what we covered for today, getting back to the gym,
the main thing for me is ease into it. Honestly, just ease yourself into it.
Don't try a stupid amount of weight. Warm up as well. That could be another one.
I mean, we did touch on that with the cardio, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, warming up as well. Something that's massively
don't jump straight into your heavy sets.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Especially on compound movements, your squats, deadlifts, bench press, clean and press, whatever.
Warm up,
don't go straight into.
Make sure everything's feeling right.
Max, yeah.
And then also
listen to your body. If you don't feel, I know this is completely adding a new topic. If your body doesn't feel right, something isn't right. So say you go to bench press one day and you're warming up, and my pec feels a little bit tight today, or my shoulder's a little bit like achy today. Don't push it as hard because that's how you get injured. Listen to your body.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think, just my summary would be focus, realize how you want to train, have a goal in your mind, work towards that goal, do what you need to work towards that goal. Don't worry about what other people are doing. If you need help, get a trainer if you can. If not, learn. Everyone has the ability to learn, especially in this day and age. And I don't think there's anything else I want to add to that. So
all good.
Perfect. Right. In that case, we're going to leave that there for today then, guys. But please, like we said earlier, be sure to check us out on YouTube and subscribe. The link's in our Instagram bio. Check us out. We should be on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So check us out and give us a good rating on there, please, as that will help us out greatly. And other than that, leave us your questions. Definitely get those questions to us, because whether we start a whole segment or whether we do whole podcast based on it will depend how many questions we're getting. I think I've got 6 or 7 saved up at the minute, just from various people, like good questions. Anyone who just says something ridiculous, we're probably not going to answer that. But if it's an actual question that we feel can help other people, then 100% we will get around to that at some point. So keep listening along, subscribe, like, all that good stuff. And then thank you very much for listening along today. Thank you for coming along, Mr. James Holden Fitness.
Anytime, mate.
And then just for transparency's sake, we are pre-recording quite a few of these, although with different days. So today's the 31st. The first episode was on the 30th. Just because we're trying to work, like I said, on putting together a bit of a studio, somewhere where we can get the quality up a little bit maybe, and somewhere where we won't have the dogs barking in the background because they'll be able to go outside and not be locked in the kitchen area. Oops. But yeah, so just keep your eye out. Set up, subscribe, notifications, like, rate us and that. And then we'll see you all in the next one. Let us know any topics as well.
Perfect.
Sound brother.